So it's interesting. My dad is actually the same. He's a rising Scorpio with a Scorpio moon, just like you.
Okay.
So when the moon sign is in Scorpio, you got a lot of Scorpio, and it's all in this first house. The first house is the Aries house. So this is all about your identity. This is about who you are, who I am. A lot of your life is about coming to grips with who you are and deeply knowing thyself. That's a huge, big deal for you. I would actually say that probably one of the biggest reasons you come into the political arena or want to get into it is because it's a deep digging for the truth and uncovering of corruption. Because Scorpio is all about secrets, it's all about mysteries, it's all about things that are hidden. It's the most powerful sign of the zodiac. So the rising sign has a lot to do with the way that you appear to people before they really get to know you, especially. The rising sign is almost like the costume you wear, the package that you come in. And so that's many times what people will first perceive about you. Scorpio is intense, it's magnetic, it's powerful. It can be a little intimidating. You can get into power struggles with people, even if you didn't mean to start one, because they just perceive that you've got a lot of energy and a lot of power, and they can get jealous of that very quickly. And so you're going, I didn't do anything to make them mad, but they're just pushing against you like, no. I would also say that the Scorpio rising can be very quiet in a lot of ways. A lot of times you won't be super chatty, especially when you first meet somebody, because you're more of an observer. You want to observe, you want to watch, you kind of want to see what's going on. It's a very psychological sign. Scorpio rules sex, death, mysteries, other people's money, and raw power. The reason it's the most powerful sign, even though it's not the oldest, it's the eighth sign of the chart, is because it embodies the best or the worst of human nature. So the choices that you make are huge. You're like a high powered rocket. You can go to the heights or the depths super fast. It's intense. It can be very black and white. So even though you've got that Libra balance of looking and, once you've made up your mind, there's not a lot of gray. It's like, do it or don't. I love it or I hate it. I'm going to go all the way with this, or I'm not going to do it at all. It's an intense kind of passion. Yeah.
Progressed this way, when in the very nick of giving up, one time more came a click, as when a trap shuts, you're inside the den. Burningly it came on me all at once. This was the place, those two hills on the right, couched like two bulls locked horn in fight, while to the left a tall scalped mountain. Dunce dotard, a dozing at the very nonce, after a life spent training for the sight. What in the midst lay but the tower itself, the round squat turret, blind as the fool's heart, built of brown stone, without a counterpart, in the whole world. A tempest's mocking elf points to the shipman, thus the unseen shelf. He strikes on only when the timbers start. Robert Browning, Childe Roland, to the dark tower came. Good afternoon, everyone. Usually I do these things at night, but not today. I'll be planning a trip to Omaha for this weekend. Anyways, I'm going to talk about what might be at the magnetic North Pole. And the weird thing is when you think to yourself, it's 2019, we have no videos of someone at the ground at the magnetic North Pole. It's the most hidden place on Earth, more than Antarctica. I think a lot of flat earthers, they focus on Antarctica a lot. I am going to be the one focusing on the Arctic and the North Pole, not just the North Pole where it's positioned, but the magnetic North Pole. Because I think, just like a lot of the scholars and researchers that have looked into it before me, and of course all the mythological texts, at least what a lot of people say are mythological, all the ancient texts say there's something there. And so I'm just going to go over maybe a couple of things for people to look at, and I'm going to look at them too, because I've just been kind of listening and researching and trying to find something that amidst a bulk of disinformation out there, debunking of these magnetic North Poles, all from mainstream sources. Can't go for that. Okay. First, I just want to start off and say that if you are watching, hi, Christian, how you doing? Christian's out of our. So, if you look at my main YouTube channel, it's going to be censored. They are censoring it. I don't understand why. You've probably seen the live stream of me planning my trip to the magnetic North Pole. It's my pilgrimage. See what's there. I'm planning it. And that one, I kind of figured, okay, around 10 days to 5 weeks in a one-way trip. So double that on the way back. Hopefully, I come back. Okay, and I'm going to do everything I can to come back. So this is my YouTube for my main channel. You don't see it anywhere. My on-topic pilgrimage to the North Pole, magnetic North Pole, I'm sorry. And here, of course, my on-topic, all breadcrumbs lead to the North Pole. And Sophia, it's blocked worldwide. You can see this is on my Tequila Mockingbird, which is my secondary backup YouTube channel. You can see I'm planning my pilgrimage to the magnetic North Pole. It is there. I had to upload it, not live stream it. And of course, if I go to the live portion, I hate this new studio beta for YouTube. On topic, all breadcrumbs lead to the North Pole. Of course, copyright claim, it's blocked, all countries affected. So that one, if you want to watch any of those videos, there really isn't much there, in my opinion, although it is like 2 hours 22 minutes. Oh, that's an interesting number. You can go ahead and go to DLive. Even Periscope doesn't seem to block it, which is owned by the same company that owns Twitter, or maybe it is owned by Twitter. And there's also Steemit, which I'm doing everything live from vim.tv, which is tied into Steemit's blockchain. Okay, so enough of that. I'm going to go over a couple of things. If you want to kind of have a feeling of what's at the magnetic North Pole that's being hidden, there's a couple of sources, and there's 3 to start off. And if anyone knows any more sources, that would be great if you guys would let me know. There's Mercator's Flat Earth letter to John D of 1577, Mount Meru, Secret North Pole, Flat Earth, and this is from the channel FlatWater, Flat Earth. If you go to the YouTube description or the Steemit page, you'll see description boxes, and you can go ahead and click on the links there. Otherwise, you can just do a search and you'll be able to find these videos. So Mercator is the person who created the Mercator projection, which was used around all the globes. But there's also a flat Earth depiction that he did in the late 1500s. And you'll see that in the previous videos of mine and elsewhere. There's lots of videos covering it. There's Flat Earth, Mount Meru, The Lost Book of the North, Inventio, Fortuna. There's a full reading. I guess it's a Lost Book of the North. FlatWater, Flat Earth. I don't know how came by it, but there it is. And I would love to have the book, but I'm sure the book is very, very pricey. Paradise Found. Now, this is a good one because I didn't know who William F. Warren was. And the intro is quite telling. And if I told you, hey, do you know William F. Warren, who thinks all these things, where you might think, hey, it's a little wacky, crazy. You know what's wacky and crazy? We went to the moon 6 out of 6 times without incident. Landed on the moon. Had videos on the moon. Heck, we had a Land Rover driving around the moon. And we've also been there 4 more times orbiting the moon. So I think it was 10 out of 10 times, 100% success rate. I think we've probably even been there more. And you know what? We've never been to the North Pole, at least not publicly. not the magnetic North Pole, the North Pole where they go, oh, okay, this is geographic North Pole. We'll put a little flag here, a pole, and here we go, it's North Pole. You can never know. And it seems as though the actual magnetic North Pole, it's very, very difficult to get to. Obviously, it's more difficult to get to than to the moon. Of course, we haven't been to the moon at all. But they'll show you that we've been to the moon. I'm just telling you that we've been to the moon, but we haven't even been to the magnetic North Pole. Isn't that a little odd to you? So these things are great. So if you go to William F. Warren, he was born in Williamsburg, Massachusetts. He graduated from Wesleyan University in Middletown, Connecticut in 1853. A member of the Mystical Seven. I never heard of Mystical Seven. But he was the acting president of the Boston University School of Theology and the president of Boston University from 1873 to 1903. I mean, that's pretty prestigious. I don't think anyone out here who's probably going, oh, Ebon, you're crazy. There's nothing at the North Pole. It's just a pole. No one has credentials like that, and he has quite a lot. Now, sorry for all the little breakups. I'm just kind of reading the chat. Bob Ramirez, what's big and pink? What lies at the bottom of the North Pole? Nathan Fowler, glad you're redoing this magnetic mountain of Ebon. Last one I couldn't watch, they took it down. Yeah, Nathan, your name sounds very familiar. Make sure if you want to watch it, you can go and watch it on DLive or on Steemit or even Periscope. They don't take it down. All right, so what's interesting, after I did the first one on the part one of my planning, my pilgrimage to the magnetic North Pole, on the news, on the mainstream news, they keep changing where magnetic North Pole is. Now let's look at the top 3 stories, okay? Which way to the North Pole from New York Times. I'll bet you $1 million, I don't have $1 million, that they don't have a video or actual picture of the magnetic North Pole. And guess what? They don't. And I think the story is that they're gonna, it keeps moving, and there's a lot of fear porn about it, that the magnetic poles, north and south poles, are gonna reverse. That's not gonna happen. You know why? Because it's not gonna happen. Okay, see, now they're saying the magnetic North Pole is shifting towards Russia, scientists say, and I guess this is a depiction of the magnetic North Pole. No, this is Northwest Passage. Again, $1 million, I'll bet you. They don't have a video or a photo of it. They just have a model and some a map with some lines on it saying, okay, this is why. All right, how about Big Think? I think that's gone to be what, a big mainstream science channel. Oh, look, no pictures. Oh, look, a diagram. There's the geomagnetic North Pole, there's the geographic North Pole, and there's the magnetic North Pole with the blinking lights. Again, you're not going to see any real pictures or videos. You'll see hundreds of pictures, if people have saved it, of the moon expeditions, moon landing expeditions. Of course, they've all been destroyed by NASA, so there is that. But you won't see one at all of the magnetic North Pole. So what's at the magnetic North Pole? Because I'm taking this trip. How will I know when I find it? Well, I'll just follow the compass north. And when I'm there, when the compass starts kind of being wonky, I'll start walking around in circles, and if it keeps pointing north as I'm going in circles, that's magnetic North Pole. If there's nothing there, that is an indicator. If there's something there that all the ancients say that there is there, this is going to be the most magnificent trip ever. Now, oh yeah, Christian, yes, you may. I don't want this to be a long one because I'm gonna have to leave in about an hour and a half. But yeah, the Zoom. Go ahead and come on in at any time. I made the Zoom static, so I don't have to change the Zoom ID all the time. So once you have it, you can see it. Now, what's funny? Before I get into this, I was playing around with gematria, and it's just playing around with numbers and math with letters and words. And I did a whole bunch, and I included the septenary because Marty leads. And I typed in a whole bunch of things, but these are what stuck. Now, I don't really know gematria too much. I wish someone who did would actually come and kind of give me an overview of what the significance is. All I'm looking for are patterns. And patterns that I'm looking for is any of these, at least 2 of the numbers will match with any of the word or phrase. So for example, Genesis, like book of Genesis within the Bible, and my name, Ebon Kim, it matches up with full reduction at 33 and full reverse reduction at 39. I don't know the significance, I just see the pattern. And then you go with my name, Ebon Kim, and North Pole. There's 33 here, and the septenary 33, 39 here, and the reverse full reduction are the same. Reverse ordinal is 120. If you go to, let's see, sorry, I can't see behind my camera too well. And of course, hidden land, you match it up with Yggdrasil, which is North Pole. You can see the 39 significance here, the 51 here, 48 here. It's like I typed in a lot of words, different words to see what might be there. And they didn't match up. None of the numbers matched up, but these did. If you're looking for freedom, the 33 is here, 39 is there, although it's reversed. The full reduction is, and the reverse full reduction of everything else. Maybe that means it's not a place of freedom, it's a place of prison. It's a prison. Maybe, and this we'll get into a little bit later when we go into Stephen King, the Dark Tower series, how Roland is actually supposed to protect the tower while the Man in Black is there to destroy it. But maybe it's reversed, just like how the elites of this world, the corrupt criminals of this world, they not just inverse everything, but they also pervert it. So anyone who actually makes it to the magnetic North Pole, to the tower that's there, maybe we're supposed to destroy it, and then all then everyone will be free. Who knows? We don't know because we've never seen it. We're in the dark. In 2019, we see more from mainstream media about what's outside the Earth than what's on it. Now, I typed in Camelot, which 69, I don't know why it lines up with the English ordinal with me, and the reverse ordinal 120, and the reverse full reduction of 39. It's mind-boggling to me. 3 of them line up with my name. The turtle, and the turtle is like the world turtle, the cosmic turtle. 39 matches up with the Camelot. In the reverse full reduction, it lines up with the full reduction as Camelot as well. And 66, it's the reverse order and freedom are kind of matched up here, but the reverse full reduction also lines up with Genesis, North Pole, my name, and Camelot. It's just weird. Reverse ordinal Atlantis lines up with turtle, lines up with full reduction, right? It's very coincidental. 120 reverse ordinal lines up with that exactly. I'm not making this stuff up. You guys can go to gematria calculator and type in all this. I don't know what the significance is. I just see the pattern, and maybe it's a hint of what's there. But again, we won't know. This is just all conjecture. assumptions, and that's what kind of worries me. I think if we're supposed to go and destroy it to become free, then the powers that be that are running this world, as we currently experience, they're probably protecting it. I mean, they're protecting the Antarctic. Who's to say they're not protecting the Arctic as well, preventing people from going? But then again, I have a feeling it's so treacherous to get to the magnetic North Pole that they go, yeah, go for it. You're probably gonna die in the attempt. And again, if you go to mythological, just mortals aren't able to make it there. There's been a few accounts of expeditions where people have made it, and they've seen some weird things and giants and whatnot, and a few came out to tell the tale. Most of them were young. I think one of the things is you have to be a child or maintain your childhood, childishness or something like that. I'll get more into that later. Okay, going back. So Nathan says, Ebon, Zach Hubbard does a call-in show at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday. 213-233-3998. Call in and ask him. He's a gematria guy. Okay. Zach Hubbard sounds familiar too. TFR radio like Mark Sargent. Yeah. I recognize the name. Christian, he'll jump on in a bit. Bob Riersma, is he off on the on topic of teen fiction now? This sounds a bit like the old guess your age trick. Yeah. Olaf Jensen. Yes, Olaf Jensen, Nathan Fowler. I was watching the video about his story, and that is an incredible story. So what I'm gonna try to do, because I would love to show people this video, which is 38 minutes, and this video, which is an hour 6 minutes, and this video, which is hour 49, and the Olaf Jensen video, which is probably I think 2 hours. But yeah, not enough time. What I'm going to try to do is just find snippets and kind of just make a very good video, because I want to try to make a small GoFundMe, because $0 on the other one. No one really cares about the YouTube censorship. But you know, anything that'll help me make it to the magnetic North Pole, and while I'm gone, my family has a little bit of monetary support. That'd be great, because when I come back, I'm going to reveal everything. I'm going to take pictures, videos. It's going to be limited because it's going to have just whatever batteries that I have. Of course, if I can get like solar powered battery chargers, I'll probably take that as well. I still haven't planned. Like, my original plan was to take 40 pounds of equipment. That's it, in a backpack. And that should help me get there. But then I'm thinking, well, it's going to take 5 weeks, because a lot of it is just survival out in the Arctic. Definitely weaponry, hunting gear, fishing pole. Fish should be great up there. Arctic grayling, which is just basically another type of trout. And you see, I have a lot of fishing videos. I fish a lot. That would be the great part. Even if I fail to get there and I come back alive, just the fishing that I do up there would be worth it. But I have a mission, so I am going to do everything I can to get up there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get as much information as possible, and edit it and try to make it within 15 to 30 minutes, linking everything together and providing links like I do in the description box, and hopefully have a good presentation out there. Unlike these on topics that I do, I just talk, which unfortunately I'm just rehashing the material that people have out there and just giving my thoughts. Now, Rosette Delacroix, I've seen her video. You can watch it too. I don't have it linked. ODD Reality, they did a collaboration. Excuse me. I thought it was good. I like both of them. Just some information that they have out there. I don't know if it's accurate or not. That's why it's difficult. But a lot of decoding. She has some gematria stuff. But you know, I'm not quite there with agreeing with them a lot. So it's always looking. Not that I know that they're wrong. I just one of those sixth sense. Those just a feeling whether they are or not. Yes. Actually, Nathan. So when going to the Arctic for fresh water on the Olaf Janssen, there were a couple of lakes out there that were very good to drink. A lot of the salt water stagnated to the bottom or something like that, and they were able to drink from just pure non-salt water from some of the ponds and lakes that were up in the Arctic. The other thing is you could always melt the snow. The thing is, you want to keep hydrated. So if you're gonna, what I'm gonna do is have two water containers. One that I'm gonna that'll last a long time. Keep it as a reserve, and hopefully keep it warm. So I'll have like a warm. Hopefully I could try to make some tea and keep it hot and warm in a I don't know. I forgot what that was called. But, the things that keep it hot or cold for like 24 hours. I don't know why my mind can't remember that simple stuff. The other thing is just having a simple canteen, and what you do is you just put some snow in there and put it onto your chest. And as I'm moving along, walking, I don't think I'm gonna take skis. That might be a little bit harder, because I've seen videos of people saying that they took they were using cross country skis, and some of it didn't really take as much. It was almost slower than walking, it seemed. Although they do say that there's a lot of deep snow as well, so I may take snowshoes. But basically, your body will warm up the snow in that container, and you can go and drink that. It should be pretty clean. Thermos. Yes, there you go, Bob. Thank you. So thermos for the warm tea, and as I'm walking, just put a little bit of snow and drink every hour to keep hydrated. It's and the thing is, I don't feel ready for it, but I have a feeling that I will be ready when the time comes, and that's why I do a lot of preparation and planning. And I have a lot of fat. You can see I've gotten a lot of fat accumulated. That's gonna help in case I can't eat a lot of food. I have a feeling, like all the accounts that they have for people going to the North Pole, the geographic North Pole, and some going to the magnetic North Pole even, they burn a lot of calories. I mean, they say that you want at least 5,000 calories replenished a day, because the trip out there plus the cold seeping through, you're gonna lose a lot of calories. And they take just like a stick of butter a day to replenish the calories and get the fat reserves going or something like that. I don't know if I'll have that much material. And I'm planning on hopefully catching fish, cooking it, and that should hold over for the calories that I bring back. Yeah, Bob, that's what the news was saying. That the magnetic North Pole, all the big mainstream media news is saying that it keeps moving towards Russia. But of course, they won't ever show a real picture of the magnetic North Pole. None of them. You can look at every news article out there. Not one picture. Oh wait, there is a picture. Let's see. Let's look at that. Citizen Truth. Little submarine with a North Pole. Yeah, I don't think so. I hate those things. Okay, so that's the one to check out, the Stephen King stuff. The other thing is, again, looking at the gematria stuff. Let me just double check in case anyone's on. Nope. I might be ending it soon, Christian, so come on in. So of course, when I was a kid, I think everyone as a kid was trying to find Atlantis, figure out where it is. But I think a lot of people were looking at the mainstream sources. The cosmic turtle, just turtle. The weird thing is, cosmic turtle didn't fit in any of the numbers that made a pattern. I tried Avalon instead of Camelot. Camelot made it a lot of numerical patterns, but not Avalon. Freedom, Truth didn't make a cut. Other stuff, Yggdrasil. I tried Hyperborea. I've tried Mount Meru. I tried a lot of different words, but they didn't line up to any pattern. Yggdrasil did. Hidden Land. I just typed in, "Hey, it's a hidden land, right?" And yeah, the patterns matched up with some of the other stuff. I was just surprised that my name came up. And Genesis, I don't know why I tried Genesis. I think it was just that's where maybe it all started. So, and I don't even yeah, it's just very most people will say it's just coincidental, but maybe it's meant to be. I heard 19 is a peculiar number. If you go ahead and listen to or read or watch the video with Rosette Delacroix, 19 seems to be a favorite number of Stephen King. She says, okay. Oh, remember when I was talking about how only a child could get there? It is said that the mind of a child can bring it down. This is the Dark Tower of Stephen King. And it says, like the Fool, Stephen knows the Fool represents the journey of Christ. He is both 0 and 22, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. King mentioned 22 in his forward on 19. All right, hold on. Hey, Christian, how's it going?
Hey, man. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, we haven't seen you in a while. Let me, hold on. Let me, there we go. Yeah, I haven't done this thing in a long time, talking to you or anyone else, it seems. How are things going? So those who are watching, I don't know if we're going to continue to talk about the magnetic North Pole, but feel free to stay if you want or leave. And Nathan Fowler, I will rent Smallfoot, a Truth or Family movie. I'll take a look. All right, Christian, how have you been? I've been
great, man.
Maybe 2 months since we talked. It's been a long time, huh?
Yeah, 2 months maybe, yeah.
What's going on? How are you doing?
I've been well, man. How's your New Year's been so far?
Same old, really. Every day just is pretty much the same. I don't really celebrate holidays and things like that. My family does, but to me it's just day after day. The significance is what the people who made up the holidays made, not really us, So
that's true.
Is there snow up there over in New Jersey? A lot?
Actually, no, believe it or not.
No? Wow.
I know.
I'd expect a lot in New Jersey because I think there's quite a bit over in New England.
Yeah. I've heard from like some of my buddies up there that they've been getting a lot of snow.
Yeah.
Here we hardly have gotten any, at least over here by New York City. I think the most we got was maybe an inch last week on Thursday or Wednesday, whenever that snowstorm came in.
Yeah.
But other than that, man, it's been a pretty green winter.
Yeah.
Surprising.
It hasn't been snowy up here. It was pretty snowy last year when we came down. But yeah, we've had a couple of days of like negative 10-degree weather. It was negative 3 today. And it's good. Maybe it's a sign. Maybe that's why I'm here. I'm here to just kind of warm up to the cold, freezing weather here. So when I head up to the Arctic to explore, I'll be, this is a piece of cake. Negative 60 degrees. It's all the same to me.
Negative 60 degrees.
That's what they say. They say that's how cold it can get at the Arctic.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, I think the South Pole's even colder. I think it gets like to 100, below 100.
Yeah. And so when I'm actually going, it'll be 4 layers of clothing. So the inner layer that's going to wick the heat off, an inner insulating thing like this jacket, then more of a like a windproof type of coat, jacket or coat. And then the 4th layer will be something very like furry, whether it's synthetic or real. I'd probably rather have synthetic, just to make sure the heat doesn't dissipate out of the body as easily. So that would be from the top, the bottom, The shoes, I have to have two different. I have to bring an extra pair of shoes. This is gonna
Yeah.
suck. And then the socks, I have to have at least 3 layers. I'd say two. They say 2, but I think I'm gonna do 3. Um, and then the boot will be the last layer. And then the head, I gotta have the full face, body, and gloves. It'll be. I'm gonna try doing 3 gloves. I've done 2 layers, and it wasn't bad. So 3 layers on the extremities, 4 layers in the main core. Ski mask. I hate wearing ski masks and stuff because when you're moving, it's just gonna fog up, and that's gonna suck. Of course, a hood at the end. So it's gonna be weird. Like I hope it's like a personal Survivor. Have you ever watched like those Survivor shows? Those are my favorite. And like, not Survivor, the reality show, but like, what's
like
that? Survivor Man and Dual Survivor.
Man,
like, you know, those types of things. There's also that one where they see who can last the longest. I forgot that one. But that's just kind of, this will be my thing. So even if I fail, and I hope I don't, I'll have a camera, videos when I'm camping. I'll lay out my thoughts. It's like the one point, there'll be a breaking point, I think, right? It's like if I travel 100 miles on foot and then there's just an area I can't cross, and I go like 3 days finding a way around, I can't, and my, I'm not catching fish or anything, I'm gonna head back. Where I have an accident, emergency, like I fall in water and everything's wet, and miraculously I somehow survived that. Because if you do get wet, first thing you do is roll in the snow, get all that wetness out, and then take off all your clothes. Probably you want to dig underneath the snow, take off all your clothes, put all, I have to kind of relook and try to have I'll probably bring one of those. You know how marathon runners, when they're done running, they have that lining of aluminum or something like that. They just have this very thin sheet of soft metal. They put that to retain the heat. But that's scary. And I don't want to go with anyone else because I put them in danger. Because and that you also have a lower chance of survival, in my opinion, because if something happens to them, I'm not going to leave them, right? I have to take them back. And if I'm going into something like, because me, it's this is like a leap of faith in a way, because I don't know what's there. I just have a hunch that something is there. So it is a leap of faith. It's not a belief that I know something's there, so I'm going to go and I know what I'll find. No way. I'm not taking a chance on that. I have no idea. So it's as close as I get to belief. It's a leap of faith. But I have just a gut feeling that there is something there. And if I go in, because I mean, you have to conquer your fears. And if I go in, the other person's not, because they don't have that leap of faith that they want it, and whatever that they have. So, because a friend of mine wants to do it, come with me. But I just don't think that's gonna work, because if something happens or they have to wait, I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen. If I'm dead, how long do they wait for? Can they survive back alone, etc.? At least with me, I know how long it took to get there. I know how long it'll take back. I don't have to worry about anyone else. So, and whether I'm gonna somehow take a boat, because I don't think there's any trees. All accounts say there are no trees. There's driftwood. Like some of the accounts I've seen, they've seen huge trees that are just kind of waterlogged and floating on the water or something like that. So I could probably use that. Or maybe there's just so much plastic in the ocean, I'll just make a raft out of plastic gallon jugs. Who knows? Because basically a lot of survival in those situations is just making use of the environment, because I'm not going to be able to carry 200 pounds over 1,000 miles or however long it may take, through the harshest conditions known to man. And I mean, what are your thoughts of what might be there?
What might be there, man?
Because I know you're kind of a conspiracy theorist. You just don't let it out too much, huh?
Um, well, I mean, I have like some unorthodox beliefs, you know.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm a vegan, first of all. I think that's pretty unorthodox, especially today. Um, but although I see like it's becoming more and more popular.
Mhm.
Um, I'm straight edge as well. I don't drink or do anything. But yeah, man, I don't know. I've heard like the stories like about Admiral Byrd's trip to both poles, the North and the South Pole, and
Mhm.
Hollow Earth and Hollow Earth theory and all that. Um, Obviously, I've heard about the book and then the subsequent movie, Journey to the Center of the Earth,
Mhm.
which ties into that. Um,
Do you think the Do you think it's guarded by military?
I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
Um, if I had to bet, like if you had pointed a gun in my head and said, "What is there?" Um, I would bet that somebody stops you before you get to the magnetic North Pole.
But that's a lot of area to
Somebody.
cover to find one person. I mean, it's
Yeah.
vast. The conditions
Mhm.
are harsh, and if they the thing is, people aren't. I'm not gonna let people know when I'm gonna go, when I'm
Mhm.
leaving. You know what day. I'm not gonna let people know exactly the point of entry that I'm gonna make. Whether I'm
Mhm.
gonna fly to a nearest location, take a boat to the nearest location where I could get dropped off, or just go to a place and drive, fly somewhere, then drive somewhere, then and then walk the rest of the way or whatever. And because I think they're listening. I think there's not many people who are saying they're going to magnetic North Pole because first it's a crazy thing, right? It's the mainstream media points it off, and not just the mainstream. It's the people who've tried it.
Mhm.
They say it's the most impassable terrain ever, not just for one
Mhm.
person to make, but of just a bunch of people trying it.
Wow.
So in some
Worse than
ways,
the South Pole?
the North Pole, magnetic North Pole. I
Yeah,
mean,
but
there,
that's even worse than like going to the magnetic South Pole. Because the South
there.
Pole, like,
Well, in the flat Earth, there is no magnetic South Pole. Even in globe Earth, there is no magnetic South Pole. If you go to the southern hemisphere, the compass still points north. If you're in Argentina and you have a compass, you should be, which is almost the southernmost, one of the southernmost areas of the globe Earth, right?
of land, yeah,
Of
yeah.
land. So if there is a magnetic South Pole, and they even the scientists say it's not a magnetic South Pole, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, if you're down there, compass still points north. You can keep going south as much as you want. It'll never start pointing south, the compass.
Hmm.
But sorry, go ahead.
No, what was I gonna say? Well, I guess like that strategy is kind of a double-edged sword because I was gonna say to you, like, go live as much as you can,
But
just so we know that you're okay. But I understand, like, especially if you have that weariness of somebody from, well, let's just say somebody watching you that
mm-hmm.
doesn't want you to get there to reach your destination.
Yeah.
Um,
Or filming it at all.
or filming it at all, yeah. I don't know, man. I would just like, I don't know. It's a double-edged sword
Mm-hmm.
going like completely dark. Because then
Plus,
on one
plus,
hand, yeah, you're. Hmm? What was it?
I'm just gonna say I don't think I'm gonna have any bandwidth up there to do live streams. I mean, it's not like they're gonna have cell towers out in the Arctic where I could live stream.
Who the hell knows, man?
That would be
Maybe they do.
something too. I'm almost
Hmm.
tempted to take a throwaway phone that has data, but
Hmm.
then they might track that, But just to see, like, hey, why do I have like 4G reception in the Arctic? Why would they even have it?
Like, wait, what's going on here?
Yeah. That is something to try out. But I'm thinking if I might make multiple attempts because the first one might be a failure. The second one I might have a better idea, be better prepared.
Mhm.
I might make it some ways. Third one might be, the third time's the charm, they say. So it might be multiple times, and maybe every time I go, I try testing out different things. Because I feel like the first one, I'm trying to limit what I take with me, because you have to, if you're gonna actually
Yeah.
explore, if you're, I think in your group you can have like and the resources like money and materials, you can just have a
Mhm.
train of materials going back and forth and whatnot. I don't have that
Mhm.
luxury, so anyone, it's kind of like being a ranger. You just have to go out there, forage off the land. Um,
Mhm.
I think it'd be harder if you're a vegan to survive out there, but there's lots of fish
Yeah.
out there,
Mhm.
and there's a couple of animals. I think polar bears are like the biggest threat out there as far as
Yeah.
creatures.
Mhm.
I don't have to worry about sharks because if I'm in the water, I'm in trouble anyway. Uh, um, there's like reindeer, um,
Mhm.
probably Arctic wolves, maybe, or at least coyotes. They might,
Wolves, yeah.
yeah. So
Wolves, reindeers, moose. Moose
yeah,
can be fucking
yeah.
aggressive,
Moose
man.
can be aggressive, but I think I'll be able to see them much easier than I do a polar bear. I think the
Mhm.
hardest part would be just when things are just hard to see, like if there's fog or mist, and
Yeah.
or if there's a storm. I think that's gonna be the worst part, is like waiting out a storm. Like a storm could last 2-3 days up there. It's like
Mhm.
I can't travel in a storm. It'd just be crazy. So I'd have to hole up in a shelter, and 3 days in a shelter where you can't fish, you can't really build a fire. I'd have to
Mhm.
figure out a way to build a fire, and then getting materials that are gonna be dry enough to start a fire. Like, I don't know how that's gonna happen, because my only thought is driftwood. Is like I have to get driftwood, um,
Mhm.
and hopefully it's not so water. I think it wouldn't be waterlogged in the middle, so you just kind of chop it up and get the insides, and that would be able to start the fire and dry out the wetness of the outside that I chopped up, and that could be enough for a fire. But I may not need the fire. Um, Actually, I will need the fire if I'm gonna. I don't want to eat like raw
Yes.
raw
No.
fish. I don't like sushi. I've never ate sushi. I think I tried sushi once when I was a kid. I didn't like it. I don't want
Mhm.
to eat sushi. Uh,
Yeah.
but it may have to. I may have to resort to that.
Mhm.
But then, supposedly, all the stories say once you pass, I guess the tributary of like an inlet into the the region, and
Mhm.
get into the land, that it's not snowy, it's not tundra, that there's actual like it's not wet or cold or like freezing or snowy. It's not icy at all. That's what a lot of the accounts have been, where people have actually journeyed that way. So
Mhm.
it's it'll be interesting if that is the case. I mean, even if I get to that point and I feel like I just can't make it. Like,
Mhm.
sometimes you have that feeling. It's like you just know you can't make it. It's like at that point, it's it's take pictures, videos, and head back, because then the second part is, okay, got there. This is the trail I took. Um, if I would do it again, it would have probably taken 2 days instead of like 8 days, because, well, I kind of had to go around and this way, and
Mhm.
I had to wait for storms and et cetera, et cetera. And
Mhm.
like if I would have taken extra provisions, I wouldn't have to waste time like fishing all day or something like that.
Mhm.
So it's weird, but thing is, you would think that there'd be more people that try making that journey up there in this day and age, where even millionaires have like yachts. I mean,
Mhm.
corporations. Uh, why won't they go explore and make money out there? and there's probably a lot of either scientists, like the biggest scientific research anyone could probably do is study the magnetic North Pole at its origin source on the ground, because it's the most magnetic force that we know of in the world, in this solar system, galaxy, universe, whatever they want to call it. It's the most powerful thing that we know of, but we don't have any scientists on the ground studying it because it's too hard to get there. Yet we've been to the moon, landed on the moon 6 times without incident, with videos and pictures and land rovers. So it has to make you question a little bit. Sorry, and I didn't let you finish of what you thought could be there.
No, it's okay. I think if you do make it, oh man, there's just so many possibilities going through my mind right now, man. Do you know, are you familiar with the Savage Land from Marvel Comics?
No. Or is that the one from the Hulk, where everything's aged and Hulk kills everybody? Is that part of the Savage Land? No.
No. It's this geographical location in Marvel Comics, in the Marvel Comics universe. I'm pretty like 90% sure it's located in Antarctica, but it's kind of based on, again, going back to like Admiral Byrd's accounts and Hollow Earth theory. It's like this little patch in like this middle of the South Pole where, kind of like what you were alluding to of people's accounts of the North Pole, where there's live fauna everywhere. It's not cold at all. It's actually, warm, nice. And you got green everywhere, grass, trees, different types of animals everywhere. And in Marvel Comics, you actually have dinosaurs there. I think you maybe find something like that there, but I don't think you're gonna find dinosaurs. I think that's a little much of a stretch.
Like, I hear stories of giants and gigantic animals. Like, if you do a search right now on Google, even largest bird ever, you'll see a bird that's like 10 times the size of a person. I mean, it's just gigantic. A real bird. I mean,
yeah.
Maybe certain things escape from there. Maybe that's why we still see, how mainstream media says like these ancient sea creatures that they've become extinct, and yet they come.
Oh, like a Loch Ness.
Oh no, not Loch Ness.
But they say like the Loch Ness is an ancient, like a lot of theorists say Loch Ness is an ancient, like a plesiosaur or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I'm talking about ones where you actually see videos of, and like where they say, hey, this was supposed to be extinct, and yet they pop up every now and then, and they're still around. And
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So
yeah, like the thylacine, like the Tasmanian tiger. Like people have been still seeing that.
Yeah.
What else? There's that there's this supposed like 6 foot tall chimpanzee in
chimpanzee
Bali. Yeah, 6 foot tall chimpanzee that walks on its hind legs on 2 feet.
It's I have to look that one up.
It was on what's his name? Joe Rogan had this guy on.
Yeah.
And they were talking about that. It was recent. I think the guy's name was like Forrest Galante, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, a coelacanth. Bob says a coelacanth. That's one of them.
Oh, you mean a coelacanth?
Coelacanth. There you go. I don't know how to pronounce words.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, that's an ancient fish, man. That thing was extinct for like hundreds of years, and then all of a sudden they found it.
Yeah.
In like last century.
I mean,
it's pretty incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's always a lot of surprises out there, and all the scientists and researchers always are like, I don't understand this. That's an anomaly.
Yeah. I would say, like, I would wager you'd probably find, if you were able to do it, you'd probably find more surprises underneath the ice.
Yeah.
In the water than on land. Because we still know very little about our oceans. I mean, we know more about our moon than our freaking oceans, man.
Yeah.
It's fucking nuts.
Do you think, I mean, is it enough if I see like military installations and like helicopters flying and like jets flying every like couple of hours. It's like that would kind of make me wonder. Is like, why are they doing operations up in the Arctic? Because right now the mainstream media, the war coverage, is all in the Middle East. It's all against Russia. Yet, why would they be up in the like say Canada or Greenland or Alaska, wherever, you know? Because I think those are the like the points of entry that I'll probably have to make. I don't think I'm going to do it through Europe. Although that is a possibility, but I think Europe might be a little bit more harder because of Russia and Europe kind of probably controlling the Arctic a lot more than Canada and Greenland. On the map, the old Mercator map of the 1596 or something like that, or any of the flat Earth maps, it looks like Greenland is the closest point towards where I can get to the magnetic North Pole without having a big ship or anything like that. You know, for a solo trip, if I can cross, maybe hopefully just like 50 miles of a sea, of icy sea, that might be doable. Who knows? I may not be able to. But then again, it might also be the time of year. I want to go during the summer where the sun will be coming closest. But even then, like even accounts of like if you watch or read about, I think Ada Blackheart or something like that, she survived on a island north of Siberia back in the 1800s. She went with 3 or 4 other people on an expedition because Britain, someone wanted to claim that island for Britain.
Of course.
Yeah, and just things got bad, and they're dwindling on some. They planned on reinforcements arriving, but because it was there were like summer ice storms or something, and they couldn't make it. So they just had to survive on their own. And the thing is, they overhunted, and I don't think they really fished for that much. They just hunted, and they were running out of supplies. 3 of them left. No one knows what happened to them. One wasn't feeling very good because he fell into the water, and he wasn't the same after that. And so she had to take care of him while taking care of herself. She wasn't trained how to survive out there. She's just a seamstress, and she survived out there for I think like 2 or 3 years until like a rescue mission made it to her.
Holy shit!
Read that story; it's an amazing story. It's pretty good. So
what was her name again?
Ada Blackheart, I think.
Ada Blackheart. Okay, I got it.
It's a sad story too, but we'll go. I may go over that sometime because it is a very cool story. They'll probably make a movie out of it, I'm sure, but who knows? She was an Eskimo, so she'll probably be played by some white woman, and yeah, who knows?
Well, not the SJWs have their way.
Oh yeah, no, they do. The SJWs always want it, but then you only get white women who play the SJW role in the Hollywood movies.
I think they've been getting better about it, in recent years. But yeah, it still happens. It definitely still happens.
Name one, I guess, lead female in a movie lately that's not white.
Taraji Henson in What Men Want.
I don't know what that is. Is it
romantic comedy?
Oh, okay, romantic comedy. All right, what about superhero movie?
In a superhero movie?
Yeah.
Oh, it hasn't happened yet.
Oh.
I can name black guys. Wesley Snipes in Blade.
Well, I guess they did have a black woman in Ghostbusters, the female remake.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I guess that is one.
Leslie Jones,
yeah. I guess.
I never saw it, so I don't know. I can't tell you about the movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of any other movies. Anyways, I don't know how we segued into this.
That's a hell of a segue
Yeah.
from the magnetic North Pole to Leslie Jones. Hey, maybe you'll find Leslie Jones up there. Maybe she'll be camping out there waiting for you.
Yeah, I doubt it. I just I don't know. It's just because we don't hear that. Unlike the Antarctic, we don't hear the magnetic North Pole as being off limits to civilians. We don't.
That's true.
We don't hear it as like military. It's out of bounds. It's restricted. It's just they just say it's dangerous, right? But then I hear accounts of people trying to go there, like the magnetic North Pole or just even the North Pole, the geographic one,
Right.
where they're told and instructed to turn around at gunpoint.
Oh shit.
There's an expedition someone was doing, and I did it in my previous videos. They were trying to go to the geographic North Pole. I'm not geographic, magnetic North Pole.
Magnetic. North Pole.
They don't have any pictures or videos of the last point where they made it, and they just made an excuse to turn back, and they're pretty resolute in going forward. And I just think that they were probably told to go back, and they can't use any of the videos and photos from that point on, you know? Because I think the thing is, when you have a group of people going there, are you still there, Christian?
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah.
Oh, your
You
camera
see me?
froze. Yeah, it just froze. Oh, okay, there it is.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still here.
That when you have a bigger expedition, it's easier to see. So they're probably doing flybys and radar or whatever, and just seeing any type of blip. Like if it's one person, they may just think it's a polar bear or caribou or moose or whatever, right? But if they see like 6 people, you know, in uniform going directly towards the North Pole, they'll probably think, you know, something's up, and they'll go and investigate it. But if you have one person starting, stopping, storms will pass by, they won't know if, you know, what's going on. Someone will have to really be attentive. And, you know, I think a lot of people who are in the military, they get bored of watch. And, you know, if they have the chance to look at a radar screen for any blips that might happen, or playing like a video game or reading a book, they'd be reading the book.
Playing Call of Duty.
Yeah, because I mean, how many blips are they gonna get on that radar screen of people going to the magnetic North Pole? It's not gonna be much.
Very few, I would imagine. Yes.
Yeah. So they'll probably just like, oh, whatever. I think that's just a polar bear.
It might, like, if you do encounter some resistance, some human resistance up there, it might not just be our government. It might be other governments up there.
Yeah.
So who the hell knows?
Nathan Fowler says 60th parallel is patrolled.
60th parallel. Yeah, again, I wouldn't doubt it.
Now I'm talking about the military, I keep thinking, aye, Christian.
Yeah.
Man, it's been a long time.
Yeah, man.
All right, I had to start getting ready. I mean, it'd probably be good to get ready about now. But
Yeah, no problem, man. I just wanted to come in and say hi to you, man, and talk to you for a little bit.
So what's been going on your end?
Not much, man.
Are you still doing activism of any sorts?
What was that?
Are you still doing activism of sorts and all that stuff? Or just trying to...
A little bit, man. A little bit. I've been logjam with work and life in general. Just trying to get things in order, things together. I still do like little things here and there. Like the last thing I did was back in December for Julian.
Yeah.
I went out by myself again and just stood by Grand Central Station for a little bit. But I haven't done anything like that since, at least not going out like that.
Yeah.
It's been mostly online stuff.
Yeah.
Like Twitter and YouTube.
What's your kind of focus now on like, beside, like, I know you're getting things in order, but like what catches your eye, whether it's mainstream or alternative or just maybe just research on your own? It's like, what catches your attention to just kind of focus on?
Like in terms of what's happening in the world?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, still Julian, obviously, but I think situation with Venezuela.
Okay. Yeah.
And just, wars in general. It's just, I just don't want any more wars. It's just ridiculous. There's nothing productive that comes out of wars. It's all it is just destructive. It's masochistic. It's sadistic. It's all of that.
Yeah.
Every single negative connotation you could think of to apply to it, it's that. And these people, the U.S. has such a reputation, and justly so. The U.S. government, just their mere presence in a country is enough to ignite an armed conflict. Just their presence alone. So I just want our government to just stop meddling around in other countries' affairs, because we wouldn't want that. We wouldn't want, say, just pick any country, Madagascar, coming and say, "Oh no, Donald Trump is not your president. This person is your president. This person from the middle of Kansas is your president." We wouldn't want that.
Yeah. That is true. I mean, I glanced around a bit, and the Yellow Jackets is still going on, and it's kind of gone over to a couple of different countries. The Yellow Vests, not Yellow Jackets. What am I thinking?
Yellow Vest, yeah, Gilets jaunes.
Anything happening in Spain and Catalonia at all? Still the same.
It's still a mess. It's still a mess, man. I mean, the Catalonians, they're trying to, separate and have a dialogue, have discourse, but they keep getting shut down, and they still have political prisoners in Spain. They have like dozens of Catalan activists and politicians locked up.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they're all pro-independence. But yeah, man, just nothing. They're still in a bit of a logjam over there in terms of getting really separating from Spain. They obviously had the referendum. They voted twice, and it came out. They wanted independence overwhelmingly. I mean, 90%. I mean, how much more are you gonna get? You're gonna fucking vote 99%? But and then you did the typical bullshit that they've adopted from us, like, oh, the Russians have been meddling in the elections and blah blah blah. Typical Red Scare tactics that we see over here.
Yeah,
they're using over there.
Do you think? I mean, the thing with the Yellow Vest movement, and I think the violence gets escalated by the military and the
police,
the police state. I like calling it police state rather than police.
The police state, yes.
But it's funny because the mainstream and even the alternative, the activists out there say, no, we'll never escalate to violence. Yet the tactic of the governments and the police state is always resorting to violence against the people. But the people, I mean, it's, for me, it's obvious because I think it's just a lot of brainwashing and a lot of hypnotism, whatever it is. Just people are conditioned to not be violent, and that's a good thing. But to defend against violence, I think is an important thing, because otherwise you're never going to be free, and you let the people who are violent in positions of power. And that's why we're at this point in this time in this world today, as we allow people who are violent to keep being violent while they keep telling us to cower down. And it's just like a one-way street. There's no equality at all. The justice is there only for the rich and the powerful. It's not there for the people who are poor. People who have no connections to anyone within the justice system or the police state or government. They're not going to have a 6-month prison term, or being what's that term where you're at home and you serve your time at home, house arrest or something like that. I mean, you got who's that guy, like known pedophiles that are just out the politicians. They're out in like 6 to 9 months.
Yeah, war criminals,
Yeah,
pedophiles.
war criminals get Nobel Peace Prizes. You know.
Exactly. Yes. Oh my
So
God.
yeah. But people are like, no, they're good people. They're just, they're doing the right thing. It's hard. It's a tough job. Like George W. Bush, it's a hard job being president. It's tough. Yeah, telling people what to do, that's tough. Yeah. So yeah, it's just a weird thing. But hopefully things are going good with you.
Yeah, everything's overall good, thankfully.
That's
It's just a matter of sorting things out and just prioritizing what needs to be prioritized and letting things go that aren't really necessary. That's sort of thing everybody does.
If you had enough money saved up to take a trip somewhere, where would it be?
The magnetic North Pole.
Really?
No,
Really?
no.
Would it be a vacation? Like, I would love to just go to Hawaii again and just spend like a couple weeks there, but I know that's not going to happen. Or would you do like a personal mission, like go to Venezuela or go to like Spain or Catalonia and just kind of take part of what's going on? Or would you try to just relax and get your head in gear? You know, that's what vacations are for. It's just to take your mind off of things and recharge. So
I haven't had a vacation in a long time, man.
I think you should take one then.
I don't know, man. I just
seriously,
I just want to get I want to get to a point where I feel like I can do that, and I don't think I'm there yet.
Okay.
I got people that count on me in many ways, and I obviously got to count on myself in many ways. And I want to make sure that everything is in order before I take a step back to relax and indulge a little bit.
Yeah, I understand your point.
And I'm just like that, man. If I had money to go on vacation, I'd probably just like use it to help somebody or whatever.
Yeah, that's you. And people think I'm crazy, but you're crazy good. That's a good thing, Christian. So I'm glad there's people out there like it, because sometimes, I'm a victim of it too. I lose hope in humanity, but there are good people who want to do good things out there, and that's why I keep going too, because I know there are people out there. It doesn't make sense to curse out rest of a population because majority of them are bad, but also majority of them might be that way because conditioning, hypnotism, brainwashing, plus the state that they're in, because the state that they're in is just constant suffering. Money is a system of control. It keeps being taken away from people, and people keep giving it away because the consequences are prison, or death, right?
Yes, yeah.
So they're in this because we're not free. I mean, people think that they are free, but they're not. Just like if you're really free, don't pay your taxes. If you're really free, right, don't pay your credit card bills. If you're really free, just if you have a notice to leave your house, don't leave your house, right? Because why are they there to keep taking things away from you, especially if you own it? I mean, like a house, for example, like your clothes. Say, hey, there's a tax on your clothes. It's like, I bought these clothes. It's like, no, well, you own clothes, but we have a tax for clothes, so you have to pay us, or we're gonna take your clothes away. It's like, I bought these clothes. I made these clothes. I bought these clothes. Whatever. It's like, you can't do that. It's like, yes, we can. We're the government. We're the, we can make laws and make taxes on whatever we want. It's like
might makes right for that.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm gonna have to call it because I have to start getting ready.
Yeah, man.
I'll try to do like a off topic. That way we can actually talk about stuff, and because sometimes it does get a little bit draining, not being able to talk to other people where we can talk about things that we care about, and sometimes like family members. I would love to talk with like family members about this, but they don't want to talk about certain subjects, certain topics, and I know a lot of people want to talk about activism or politics and current events and things like that, but they don't get that platform or anywhere that they can go and do that. So I think it's also good to talk to people where we still want to talk with each other.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
So I try to do that maybe once a week again. Things have been a little bit depressing, I guess. So I just kind of been focusing in on certain subjects where it's like right now I'm at a point. Okay, I could go. I'm probably gonna have to start accumulating money in some way or form. I'm not totally free yet, but my goal, my objective, what's my main purpose? If I could do one thing in life, magnetic North Pole. I want to show people what's there because no one else is doing it. And I think there's a lot of people who've tried, but they didn't make it. But I think the more people who try, the more chances of success. All right. So I just think we just need to have more people going. And if I attempt it and I go, hey, it's not as dangerous as they say, right? If I can do it with no training, with no real big experience, just if I can do it, you can do it, right? If I just a high school diploma can figure out how to survive, if you have a doctorate or a master's degree, you should have a better chance of surviving than me, right? So that's how I like to explain things to people, but not many people listen. Okay, thanks, Christian, for stopping by and saying hi.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, man.
No problem. Anytime. And again, anyone else who wants to join in, come on in. The description has the link to join, and it doesn't change, so I'm not going to change the ID. All right, thanks. I'll talk to you later.
I'll talk to you later, Bon.
Thanks,
Enjoy the rest
everybody.
of your day, Bon.
All right, you too.